What is going on, good people? We've got a lot to talk about. Christian McCaffrey now dealing with a knee injury. We've got Aaron Rodgers, Etienne, Lamar Jackson, and Deshaun Watson news. We've got news all over the screen. Joe Mixon, what's going on with Josh Allen? We're breaking it all down, answering your phone calls, answering your super chats, answering your voicemails. The Fantasy Football Show, it begins right now.
You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? I'm your man Smitty. You are watching the Fantasy Football Show, and we're going to talk about Christian McCaffrey, all these players on the screen here. Take your phone calls, answer your super chats, talk about the Monday Night Football countdown here. JT, how many carries does JT need tonight for you guys? 20, 22? Let's get a 30-point burger on the board for JT in week number 12 as we close out week 12 and walk into week number 13. Now, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan said Christian McCaffrey's dealing with a knee irritation. He's day-to-day. We'll see if there's anything that comes of this. This could explain why he wasn't leaned upon heavily once Mitchell was ruled out of the game. And then you had a lot of Jordan Mason. We expect more of Jordan Mason in week number 13. Then I think I think we should expect more of Jordan Mason than people are initially expecting heading into this week because of the irritation to McCaffrey's knee and because they want to divide the carries up and do a 50-50 type divide. They're serious about this 50-50 divide, and it does cause concern if you own Christian McCaffrey because You're not getting the volume you want, and this is what we talked about when this trade first went down. Now, I admit I've been back and forth on whether McCaffrey is going to hold and maintain top 1 to 5 running back value in his new home in San Francisco, but from the very beginning, this has been a concern for me. Kyle Shanahan destroys running backs. He destroys them because he gets them injured. And now Christian McCaffrey's banged up, and you could say, "Oh, that's football. You're trying to connect dots here, Smitty." But Mitchell's out again. The whole entire running back room is always hurt. Debo got injured again in this past contest in week number 12. There is something going on here, whether you want to admit it or not. You can at me all you want. There's something going on in San Francisco where everybody gets hurt, especially relating to the run game. And it's just a matter of time, it feels like, before McCaffrey's out, especially if they overfeed him. And the double-edged sword with McCaffrey, if you own him, and this is your concern, even if you're not sure why you're worried, but you're worried, I'll explain why you're worried. I'll explain it right now. It's because it's a double-edged sword. If he gets the volume, he's going to get injured. If he doesn't get the volume, he's not going to produce. There are way too many mouths to feed. There are way too many mouths to feed. Just way too many. Monday Night Football is hilarious. What's hilarious? What's up, Dan? Appreciate everybody in the building. Logan, David. First in the building was Michael Payne, Kyle Wood, Sam, Feather, Scotty Hale, David. Appreciate you guys all filing into the building. Please hit the thumb up button on your way in the door. Subscribe if you're new. This is your new home, your one-stop shop for fantasy football news, predictions, game recaps, trade advice, psychology, and fantasy football. We go live more than anybody. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. We're consistent with it. I'm live whenever news breaks. That means I just walk in, fire the studio up, and drop the breaking news video. So if anything breaks, anything's going on in the NFL world, and you're like, oh my God, I want to know what other people think of this, come to my show because I'll be live. I'm live Tuesday night at midnight, Thursday at midnight, Friday at midnight, Saturday at midnight. Seems like we're doing Sunday at midnight as well. Sunday morning, Sunday evening to recap the games. When are we not live? It's just easier to tell you when we're not live. And then of course all the other video uploads that we do throughout the week. So we'll be doing all that. Melvin Gordon to the Chiefs. Yeah, we'll break all that down. So Christian McCaffrey, first and foremost, worry about it. Of course you're going to worry about it. He's got a knee irritation already. Okay, this guy is a player that has struggled to stay healthy for 2 straight years, and he's been relatively solid so far this year, where we haven't panicked or brushed up against anything major yet. But here we are in the worst possible scenario to stay healthy. This Niner running back room gets all the running backs injured. They had like 7 running backs last year. All of them got injured. Deebo Samuel was forced to start football games, not as wide back, as running back, because the entire slate of 7 running backs was injured last season. And now Mitchell's down. They trade away Jeff Wilson. Now Mitchell's down. Now they're resorting to Jordan Mason coming in and probably playing the Mitchell role. And by the looks of it, based on week number 12, I do believe they still want to do a 50-50 divide. Now, I do believe McCaffrey will be up and down. I do sense that he'll have a big week if he does play, unless this irritation turns into an injury, and the injury turns into a questionable tag, and the questionable tag turns into a do not play. We'll have to keep tabs on it. And you know that I'm going to go live the minute news breaks on it, if anything does change. Dan, 3-month celebration of his YouTube exclusive membership, asks a question. Give up. My man Smitty, smash the like button. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you. So more to come on Christian McCaffrey as the news breaks. This one's kind of this one was new. This happened right. This news broke, or it dropped right after we went live earlier. So Joe Mixon is still in the concussion protocol, and this I put on Twitter because Adam Schefter reported this or tweeted this out. Bengals running back Joe Mixon, who missed Cincinnati's win against the Titans due to a concussion, is trending in the right direction of being able to play Sunday versus the Chiefs per source. And then I retweeted back, and then this happened right after we got off our live, so I didn't include it in the earlier news video. I said this is like when Dad tells you that we're probably going to get ice cream. Whenever we hear Okay, whenever we hear that somebody's trending in the right direction, whenever we hear he may be playing on Sunday, we're optimistic he's playing. Curb your expectations. Sometimes Dad did he took us for ice cream. It happens sometimes. So there's a possibility Joe Mixon gets ice cream on Sunday, but prepare as if he won't. Make sure P. Ryan's not out there. Samaje Perine, who may or may not got picked up last week on waiver wires. He obviously did very well in substitution for Joe Mixon. All Mixon owners should have already owned him because I said it for weeks. You need to make sure you cuff P. Ryan to Joe Mixon. But I'll keep you posted. Like with the Christian McCaffrey knee injury, if something breaks, I'll go live. You can bet your bottom dollar I'll be live breaking this down. But I do believe that this is something we need to prepare for. A Joe Mixon-less Bengals again in week number 13 is possible. Jamar Chase, we broke this down earlier, is expected to play week number 13. Now, there's a possibility that this news unfolds like it did last week, where our hope gets pulled out right from under us like a rug. But as of right now, it does seem very, very likely that he's playing week 13. And what this indicates to me and what it tells me is that he probably was not suffering a setback. There was no issue that arose that caused him to sit. It was more of a precautionary, let's give him one more week. Because if there was a setback, he wouldn't be now all of a sudden ready to maybe play week 13. And this news wouldn't break early like it is right now. It would be more of a we'll wait and see type of thing. The fact that we're hearing here on Monday that he's likely to play week 13 is a very, very good sign. Unless there's an additional setback, I believe that Jamar Chase will be suiting up for week number 13. Aaron Rodgers, ribs will undergo an MRI and a CT scan. They're thinking punctured lung. Doesn't appear to be the case anymore. We don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. We know there's a lot of cloudiness to this situation. There's a lot of people they don't want Aaron Rodgers there anymore. Some fans do, some fans don't. It doesn't look like he's interested in playing football at times. I don't know that he has the skill anymore. Sometimes I feel like he does. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't. A lot of people want him to go somewhere else. Contractually, it's going to be very difficult. But who knows how this unfolds in the offseason. And who knows what happens moving forward with Aaron Rodgers. Every offseason he contemplates retirement. Who knows what he's thinking right now and how banged up he really feels. So everybody says, oh, he'll play. Everybody says, oh, there's millions and millions of dollars on the line. Of course, the Green Bay Packers want to start him. We don't know. This is a very complex situation, and we just need to figure out how healthy he is and if he can go out there and play football. He may not. He may not. He may not. We don't know. People acting like this is a clear-cut, what's going to happen situation is not. Travis Etienne, there's a report that said that he was cleared to return to week 12. And if you remember, I talked about the man putting on his helmet, standing really close to the sideline, and wanting to get in there and play some football right before the half ended. He never ended up showing up back into the game, but this is confirmation that what we saw with our eyes was in fact what was going on. He could have played in week 12. That means he's probably almost definitely playing week number 13. So fire up your Travis Etienne shares. I know some of you are very, very disappointed that Etienne didn't help you win your week in week number 12. Some of you lost. Some of you lost your playoff hopes, or now your playoff hopes are in jeopardy. And you can't blame Etienne. He didn't try and do this on purpose. And look at him. He's ready. He was ready to get back out there. For whatever reason, they held him back as a precautionary measure. But Etienne should be good to go in week number 13 unless something crazy happens and there's some kind of setback. I'll answer super chats as soon as I get through the news. Then we go right to the voicemails. Darnell Mooney done for the season with the ankle injury. It's a shame. I like Darnell Mooney a lot. This makes me think even more that the Fields' potential return is going to be very, very shaky. Now his star wide receivers down. The Bears would be dumb to suit Fields up and play him probably at all this year, but before the week 14 bye week. There's nothing to fight for. This team has a negative percentage chance of making the playoffs. There's no reason to run Fields out there now that his star wide receiver's out for the season. So that's bad news for Fields owners, but who knows what's going to happen with that. Michael Carter told reporters, speaking Monday, Jets coach Robert Salah said that Michael Carter is questionable for week number 13. Zonovan Knight might be the guy you want to pick up right now in your fantasy football waiver wire situations, and I'm going to go over that later tonight. I'll do a waiver wire video, and we'll talk about who to grab, and I even got a little sneak peek for you right here of the waiver wire stuff that I'm cooking up. So right here, we got all the names. They're not in order yet. Of course, we order them over here, and then we put them on a confidence scale of 1 to 10 of being the best pickup of the year. And I can tell you right now, there is nobody on this list that's going to even come close to being really even ranked on this scale, important enough to be ranked on the scale. There's just nobody. There's nobody on waivers in normal leagues, in traditional leagues. Maybe in some small rostered leagues, you might have somebody on the waiver wire that shouldn't be on the waiver wire. But I can tell you right now, this is as dry as it's been. If you've been holding on with your kung fu grip onto that number one waiver claim, you probably wasted your time. This is probably you, like on draft day, having 20 extra bucks at the end of your auction draft. And now what are you going to do with it? Okay, this is why you use it early. This is why you drop all your fab on one player when your boy Smitty says, hey, they're a 10 out of 10 on the confidence scale. How many times did I tell you to pick up Pacheco 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 on the confidence scale? How many times did I tell you to pick up Rachaad White as a 9 or a 10 out of 10 on the confidence scale? That's when you do your full load fab drop, is when you're in those situations.
Initiate full load drop.
That's when you drop your full fab. We'll go over all that stuff tonight, the waiver wire show, so get ready for that. Zonovan Knight will be on that waiver wire list. Then we got Josh Allen, was a full participant in practice. This is kind of obvious, but it's nice to see confirmation that there's no problem here. Get Josh Allen fired up. I heard a couple people ask, should I bench Josh Allen for? No, you don't bench Josh Allen. You don't ever bench Josh Allen. Deshaun Watson has been officially reinstated. He'll be fired up for week number 13, a revenge game against the Houston Texans in Houston, and you can bet your bottom dollar this man's coming out firing on all cylinders. And if you got a weak quarterback situation, a shaky quarterback situation, maybe even Geno Smith, you're contemplating starting Deshaun Watson, and you should be contemplating it. And we'll talk about that with all your trade scenarios and your questions going forward on the remainder of the show. Appreciate you all watching the news edition of the Fantasy Football Show. Now let's get to the super chats, the voicemails, and the phone call.
From the fantasyfootballshow.com news desk.
Appreciate you. Let's get the let's play a voicemail real quick. Tyler.
Isaiah Pacheco or Rachaad White rest of season.
Let's hear that again.
Isaiah Pacheco or Rachaad White rest of season.
Isaiah Pacheco or Rachaad White rest of season. And if you want to be a part of this voicemail crew, where you can drop a voicemail every single day for me, and I'll play them on here, go to my Instagram, and you'll see on my Instagram profile, there'll be a subscribe or subscribers button on my profile. Click that. It's $4.99 a month, and that's it. And there's a chat. You get thrown into a big chat group where you can ask everybody in that chat group questions if you've got a quick, trade dilemma, whatever. And I also chime in there from time to time and talk to everybody. But I also answer all the look at the voice messages. Everybody leaves a voice message in the chat group, and then I play them and answer them on air. If you want to be a part of that exchange of question and answer on the daily on my show here, and you're listening to people doing it right now, you just got to go to my Instagram at thefantasyfootballshow.com, click the subscriptions button on my profile, and become a member, and then you're in. And so this question again.
Isaiah Pacheco or Rachaad White rest of season.
Isaiah Pacheco, Rachaad White rest of season. I'm going to say Rachaad White, my guy. I'm not worried about Melvin Gordon. It is a factor, but I'm going to say that Rachaad White is a top, 8, top 7 to 10, top 6 to 12. It just really depends on Leonard Fournette's usage going forward. We don't really know what the usage is going to be, but we most certainly are gonna rank Rachaad White ahead of Isaiah Pacheco. I like Pacheco a lot. I like him a lot. He's a fantastic flex play right now. But Rachaad White has potential to be low in running back 1 or at least super high in running back 2 value going forward. Now, a lot's got to unfold in the next couple days and weeks in regards to the workload divide and what's going on there. But I firmly believe that talent will win out, but you never know. So we need to take it game by game, week by week. But for right now, it's Rachaad White. Guys, 260 of you watching, only 83 thumbs up. Please punch that thumb up button. This message is from Tyler.
Do we think Rachaad White is going to be okay to start moving forward, considering Fournette should come back soon?
Well, I think I just answered that, but yes, Fournette is not a consideration right now in my mind, but you don't know. We don't know. They could do 100,000 different things and go in 100,000 different directions, and we got to adjust and adapt. Let's hit these super chats real quick, then we'll open up some phone lines. We'll get to the voicemails and keep on keeping on with that. Kilpatrick dropping a $10 hauler. All $10 haulers get a moon shot. Appreciate you, my guy, Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick says, monthly locker room burrito fund. Also, you're the man, Smitty. Appreciate your great white shark. Mr. White is the one who knocks Mr. Mike White to the moon. Rachaad White season, Rachaad White season and Mike White season. Both Mike White and Rachaad White are absolute monsters, and so is Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick to the moon.
To the moon.
Appreciate you, Kilpatrick. You're my guy, bro. Okay, this one's from Payne. Payne is a beast as well. Super chatting monster. Payne says Burrow, JT, Etienne, Walker, St. Brown, DK, Higbee, Taysom, Chase, Dillon, White. Okay, let's see here. Moves before the trade deadline. I love your running backs. JT, Etienne, Walker, Burrow, St. Brown, DK. There's no real move to be made. You're waiting on Jamar Chase. I love your squad. There's nothing to move for me. I love your depth. I love your squad. There's nothing that you can really couple together. I don't want you trading away Chase. I don't want you trading away St. Brown. I don't want you trading away DK, and maybe you look to move DK and potentially. I mean, I love you having Burrow, but would I move DK and Burrow for a Mahomes or something like that? It's something I would look into for the security of it, but I still love the Burrow Chase stack for you as well. But I would do that. I would look into that. I would explore that. Pacheco and Burrow, DK and Burrow, but not St. Brown, not Etienne, not Walker, not Jamar Chase, none of those options. And then, of course, I do like the idea of using Pacheco or DK or Hollywood Brown to upgrade Taysom Hill or Higbee. Obviously, no one's going to trade for Taysom Hill. Higbee into Mark Andrews. I know I say that a lot, and there's a couple clowns in the comments a lot that say things like, Smitty, you recommend the same player to go get every week. You know what? There's a rhyme and reason to why I recommend what I recommend. I don't just sit there and try to rotate and have variety for complaining Caleb in the comments to say, oh, well, I said this last show, so I can't keep using the same player. If there's a player I think you should go get because I think they're going to go off, I'm going to keep saying the name. And so for Michael, if Michael gets Andrews, and I know Andrews didn't explode last week, but he's getting back into his rhythm, I sniff a 2 TD performance coming from Mark Andrews. I sniff it. I'm sniffing it out. I can smell it. 2 TDs is coming. And if you can get rid of Higbee and DK or Higbee and Pacheco to get Andrews, it's worth doing because of the way your squad's built and what that will do for your roster, and I think how that will make your team score. So those are the only other options I can think of for you, Michael. Your team's fire. Go win a championship, bro. Make us proud. The White Walker says, traded Mike Williams, Gabe Davis, and Fields for Burrow, Schultz, and London. Good trade. Yeah, because we don't know where Fields is going to be a week from now, 2 weeks from now, tomorrow, today. We could get word they're shutting him down. They could shut him down till week 14. They could not tell us, and you get strung along week by week. So you made an excellent trade getting a quarterback that I think has top 3 quarterback capability. As soon as he gets Jamar Chase back, he's back in the 1 to 3. You know, right now he's been hovering, doing it all himself. I honestly, Higgins is looking really good. He's been playing well overall. Played fantastic last week, the week prior. Higgins has stepped up. At first he didn't, but now he stepped up. But he's still doing, it feels like he's doing everything himself because he doesn't have the offense spread out enough. And Burrow's still getting it done. And this team looks real scary and effective, in my opinion. And once Jamar Chase comes back, which should be this week, according to the reports, Jamar Chase is back. Jamar Chase is back, and that means that Joe Burrow gets right-sized. You upsize Joe Burrow. It's like going to McDonald's and you get a medium fry, you upsize it, you king-size it. We're king-sizing Joe Burrow go forward with Jamar Chase on the field. So, fantastic move. Your team looks phenomenal. Crystal Ball saying, Smitty, Crystal Ball saying you're in the money, bro. You're in the money. You got Amon-Ra, you got Adams, you got Schultz who's coming back, Walker, Rachaad White, Burrow. You're fine, bro. You've got this. Go win a championship. Schultz is coming into his own right now, which is fantastic. Silver Winter with the $5 hauler. Should I trade Kyler Murray and White? I assume that's Rachaad White for Burrow. It depends, man. You can't get White into your starting lineup. JT, Walker, Etienne, QB. You need an upgrade. What does the chat think in this scenario? Does he trade Rachaad White and Rachaad White and Kyler Murray for Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow? Does Silver Winter trade Rachaad White, who he can't start because Etienne, Walker, and JT are his RBs? Keep in mind, JT's got a week 14 bye, but if you're not really worried about that specific week, does this man make this trade? Please vote for Silver, and let's get Silver the best advice we can give him here. So I'm going to put this over here and let the chat kind of roll in with some comments here. Appreciate you, Silver, for the super chat. Chris Smith. Chris says, start White or C. Patterson. I think we're starting Rachaad White. But you wouldn't be crazy to go Patterson, but Rachaad White's the guy right now. He had a fantastic week. Wasn't even fully utilized. We got a lot of Burrows. We got a couple no's, but a lot of Burrows. Nope, Burrow isn't all that good compared to Kyler. I disagree, Trone, but that's why we play the game. We got a lot of Joseph Burrows. Some keep Kyler's. I would say it's about 60-40 or maybe 70-30. Ron Navy with a $5 hauler. Ron Navy, appreciate you. Ron Navy says, TJ Watt, 3+ sacks. JT held under 80 yards, maybe 1 TD. Najee, 95 yards, 1 TD. Pickett, 100+, 1 TD. Freiermuth, 65 yards and a TD for Freiermuth. Pittman, 75, 1 TD or Pierce. Here, I'll give you my projections for this game. Okay, let's appreciate you, Ron Navy. Let's drop some projections here. Okay, actually, let's go to the board. Go to the board. It's a little easier than doing this. Let's go to the board and drop my projections for this contest right here. Let's go. JT, 110 yards rushing, 1 TD on the ground. We'll call it 20 additional yards receiving. We'll say there's 250 yards passing, 2 TDs, and one of those going to Pittman. And 70 yards for Pittman. What do Ron Navy say? Najee, 95. I'm going to go Najee, 70. Let's give him a TD. I'm with Ron Navy on that. Let's give Muth. Freiermuth is going to have 65 and 1. Pickens, 90 yards, no scores. Those are my predictions right there. Those are my predictions right there. JT, I think, has 1 130 total yards and a TD. There you go. Appreciate you, Ron Navy, for your predictions. Thank you, kind sir. We'll be opening up the phone lines in a minute. Bear with me. Silver, I'd say do the Burrow trade myself, but it's a tough call. You know, Mike White's tough to trade. Traded Foreman, Monty, and Rondell for Devontae Adams and Mitchell in Week 11. Smitty approved. Foreman, Monty, and Rondell. Yeah, bro.
Got him.
King 25, code 428. Dispatch Vito Popo.
I think it's pretty safe you crush that trade. Nice flex, by the way. Do I approve? This one right here, Jason, $10 hauler. All $10 haulers get a moonshot. Appreciate you, Jason. I have Cousins, was planning on going Watson when he came back. Now that there's Mike White, the Mike White kid. So White or Watson moving forward, I can get him off waivers. Who's everybody like, Watson or Mike White? Let's vote for Jason. I mean, look, Watson's high risk, high reward. He's rusty. He hasn't played. Mike White probably is safer, and I really do like Mike White. And I know he played injured one of his games last season where he didn't do well, but when he's been healthy, his one healthy start was 400 yards and 3 TDs. His healthy start this year, 300 yards and 3 TDs. So Mike White has been very effective from a fantasy football perspective. And I don't think it's crazy to assume he is a good fantasy football player. I'm more excited about what he's doing for New York and this football team. But from a fantasy perspective, he's still got some upside, and we're not really sure where his ceiling value is going to be. Watson, White, Watson all day, White, LOL. I love how people are laughing on one side or the other, and there's two different perspectives on that. Watson versus Houston, Watson, White. Yeah, this is a tough one. So I would probably say, in the matchup is wonderful for Deshaun Watson. He's got a revenge game against the Texans, so that's very exciting, and I think that's going to lead to a lot of motivation. The New York Football Jets are on the road against the Vikings. I probably lean Watson. But that doesn't mean I want you to not pick up White in case White does it again, and then you need to roll with White. I would probably say grab White, but maybe start Watson. Watson's just a little shake, like it's higher risk. If you want safety, go Mike White. Mike White's safer. He's plain and simple. He's safer. You know what to expect. He's a surgeon on the field. He's gonna have surgery on the field. You know you're expecting a nice little surgery, bro, on the field, dissecting the defense. So I would probably say, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I do change it to White. Let's roll with White. I don't mind Watson, but let's roll with White. Let's do Mike White. Put him in. Do it live. It's a little risky, too. There's risk on both sides of this, but who is the top waiver wire ad this week? Well, I have that. I showed that at the beginning. G Money, appreciate you, by the way. So these are the names right here. We got Mike White on the list. We've got Nico. We got Kyron. We got Burks. We got the usual suspects, nobody of which is going to be a 9 or a 10 out of 10 on the confidence scale. I do like Mike White for people that are in need of a QB. But yeah, it's not, no one's like shining bright on the 9 or 10 out of 10 on the confidence scale for being the best pickup of the year. But there are some good people to be grabbed and had, so make sure you stay tuned for that waiver wire show, G Money. But Mike White, if it's a quarterback, Zonovan Knight for the New York Jets because Michael Carter's injured, that might be somebody you pick up. Appreciate you, G Money. This one's a $20 hauler from Anthony. $20 haulers get immediate attention instantly when I see it, and I saw it just now. Anthony, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. 10 team, 2 flex, 1 QB, Josh Allen, Etienne, Walker, JJ, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce, Waddle, Garrett Wilson, Pacheco, Gabe Davis, Deshaun Watson. Of course you're 9-3. What is this? This is not a 10-team league. Nice try, Anthony. In line for a buy. Do you think as a let's see here, 9-3 in line for a bye? You think I'm good, or should I make a move before the playoffs? What do you think, Anthony? I think this team looks pretty fire to me, bro. I think you're good to go. I think you can wait on Jamar Chase even if you sat out another week, but he's looking like a go this week. You're good to go, bro. You're good to go. The only thing I constantly tell people is maybe look to upgrade, using some of the depth. And I don't even know what you can upgrade. I don't want you to trade out of Etienne and Walker. I wouldn't mind a JT, but you'll have to see how he does tonight, because if he blows up, no one's going to trade him. If he does okay, mediocre, maybe you make a move for JT. But I love Etienne too. Would I trade Etienne for JT? Probably. Would I give up something on the bench to get it done? Probably. But I still love Etienne. I still love Walker. This team's fire. I don't think you have to make a single move. Sometimes moving things around is a mistake. Roll with that team. It's absolute fire. Quantum Flow with a $2 hauler. Moon Men, Mars Men. Do we need the Dust Men in 2023? We're gonna have a Uranus Men. Planet Uranus. Okay, we're gonna have that in 2023. There'll be a list of players to stay away from, and they'll be on Planet Uranus. Okay, so get excited, get ready for that. Planet Uranus Men are coming. Your Uranus Men are, and then we'll show them. And I had somebody make a comment in the comments that the Moon Men players are dying. They're not dying. Like, we've got Jalen Hurts absolutely exploding. This guy Etienne got injured. It's not his fault. St. Brown's fine. Pollard's fine. Walker's he's doing great. Schultz is bouncing back. This Moon Men list looks fantastic. So get out of here with your Moon Men list is falling from space into the atmosphere and crashing and burning. Yeah, right. This Moon Men list is still fire. It's still amazing. Let's get to the voicemails.
What's going on, boys? So, Smitty, last week I traded Josh Jacobs and Treylon Burks for A.J. Brown and Pierce. And then go figure, Jacobs goes off for 54 points in my league. Mm-hmm. And Pierce had 5 and A.J. Brown had 7. So, yeah. But you know what? Like, do you think you think I'll win that trade long term, though?
Probably
I'm
not.
hoping so. Because that calf injury is the whole reason I traded Jacobs in the first place. And
yeah,
I guess he's Wolverine and didn't feel a thing and went off. So, we'll see how that thing goes. But I don't know. It's more of a long-term trade that I just did. I'm hoping that Pierce pays off. But I'm going to get to the question. Do you think I'm trying to move off?
It's not going to pay off, I don't think.
Realize how far he is down in the standings. I'm not going to have him in the playoffs. So I'm going to get to the next question right now.
Yeah, I'm going to say right now, you always want my honesty. I'm not going to beat around the bush or give you some kind of like optimistic pep talk and slap you on the butt and send you back out onto the field. Like, look, the trade's not going to look good at the end of the year. Jacobs is balling out, bro. And until he falls off, you can't expect it to. People are going to act like they saw that trade looking ridiculous, more ridiculous than it looks now. Like, don't pretend you knew exactly what Jacobs was going to do. Don't pretend you knew exactly what Jacobs was going to do before he did it on Sunday, okay? If you say you liked him, that's fine. But Jacobs is not going to, fall off a cliff or anything. This is going to end up being a painful move to watch. But it doesn't mean you can't still win, bro. Doesn't mean you still don't have an amazing team. Smitty, you're simply wrong about Shanahan gets everybody hurt. That's not logical. Well, Tony, you know how much I appreciate you, my guy. But it's not, as I've explained, it's not just Shanahan. It's the scheme and the system. And I talk to Niner communities all the time, and they, even optimistic Niner communities agree there's something going on, whether it's as simple as stretching, Tony, or as simple as 100,000 different things. I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying Shanahan injures Debo, Shanahan injures this player, but his usage of the player, his decision making to run a player up the gut, like Trey Lance, I firmly believe he injured Trey Lance. The design play call to run this guy up the A and B gap like he's Derrick Henry was a mistake, especially when they just got done teaching him how to slide, and they don't protect him. They make all these plan B moves for Jimmy G. and don't upgrade the offensive line in the offseason, holding on to Jimmy G's contract. And everybody says that had nothing to do with this. That's crap. They could have easily addressed the offensive line and done some things to help protect Trey Lance and get him in the right position that he needed to be in. I firmly believe Shanahan's play calling can injure players for sure, and his overusage of players, and his ability to not know that McCaffrey is, equal parts wide receiver, equal parts running back. I could see him running him 22 times for 3 straight games. So I firmly believe Shanahan's decisions. Do I think he's out there trying to injure his players? No. But does the scheme injure players? Absolutely. Does Shanahan's decision-making injure players? Absolutely. There's a track record of Niner running back injuries and Niner injuries that's astronomically higher than other teams. And that entire running back room of 7 players, Tony, was injured last year. Deebo Samuel was starting. The starting running back for multiple games because 6 or 7 running backs went down with injury. It's this part of that's the scheme. Part of that is the scheme for sure. Second evidence, 2021, the Ravens had J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Devonta Freeman, and Tyson Williams were all seriously injured. Is John Harbaugh causing those injuries too? No, but I would say that those are unrelated. The fact that we're trying to draw conclusions of the Ravens and the Niners, I mean, I understand what you're trying to do, but the bottom line is the injury. Like, we don't have an answer, Tony. The reason it's hard to argue this point on either side is we don't have an answer as to why the players are getting hurt. I've asked this question all the time. Has anybody looked into it? Has anybody thought to audit what's going on there in San Francisco? And I talked to optimistic 49er communities that agree. They're like, I don't know what it is. I wish somebody would look into it because our running backs always get injured. And part of it is the scheme. It's an aggressive scheme for a running back. They run the ball really hard, Tony. So regardless of it, that's Shanahan's doing to a degree. The scheme is Shanahan. The play calls are Shanahan. This running back room is constantly getting hurt. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but to say I'm simply wrong, Tony, I don't know what the answer is. But all I know is that you're not simply wrong or I'm not simply wrong. We don't know. So I kind of push back on that I'm simply wrong, as if you have empirical evidence that I'm wrong. You have no evidence that I'm wrong, just like I have no evidence that you're wrong. This is an enigma and an uncertain situation that we have no answers for. We may never know, but that 49er running back room is always banged up. Always. This is from, I think this is from, yeah, same question.
How do you feel about these trades? Oh, I also traded Curtis Samuel for Dawson Knox. That's an trade. I'm just more so thinking for the playoffs. I don't know. I feel like Dawson Knox might have a good game in the playoffs. Who knows? But how do you feel about these trades, man?
I'm okay with it. That's okay.
Jason Pierce for Mike Evans, Dalvin Cook, and Ramondre Stevenson. Now, granted, this guy, no one in my league wants to trade him because I keep
Jamar Chase and Pierce for Dalvin Cook, Mike Evans, and who was it?
Fleecing people. These trades, man. I'm trying to trade Chase and Pierce for Mike Evans, Dalvin Cook, and Ramondre Stevenson. Now, granted, this guy, no one in my league wants to trade him because I keep fleecing people. Not even to sound like an a-hole. It's just the truth. They all talked about it in the chat. Like, they're like, why do we keep giving guilty to all these deals? So now no one wants to trade with me. This guy gave me Josh Jacobs for Darrell Henderson and Elijah Moore at the beginning of the year. So now he's like really, really strict.
I don't know about that. I don't know about those. I don't know about Pierce. I mean, I want to hear that trade again.
So for Dawson Knox, feel about these trades, man. I'm trying to trade Chase and Pierce for Mike Evans, Dalvin Cook, and Ramondre Stevenson. Now, granted, this guy,
Dalvin Cook, Mike Evans, Ramondre Stevenson. I'd probably take that trade. I hate trading away Jamar Chase, but you don't really know what you're getting. So I'd probably take that trade. That trade sounds pretty decent. The other trade, the Jacobs trade, you don't look back anymore. So the Jacobs trade's over. But does that Jacobs trade look good now? No. But it didn't look as bad walking into this, week number number 12. You know, you can't reflect on it.
And I can't tell. I think he's playing hardball. So he's telling me he can't trade Dalvin Cook or Ramondre Stevenson away. He says we can do a deal for Mike Evans. So do you think I'm just being greedy? Do you think I should hold on to Chase and Pierce? I'm just trying to think long term. Like Chase, I feel like if I could package him with Pierce and get something really nice for the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to shorten up these voicemails, my guy. They're too many 40. You can't play all 40-second voicemails. Try to tighten them up.
My other RBs are Nick Chubb, Rashad White, and Najee Harris. I had Samaje Perine, I don't know how to say his name.
Pete Ryan.
Yeah, I think that was. Oh, and Raheem Mostert. I have off the top of my head, and then my wide receivers are currently obviously.
Yeah, hey, leave another one. We got to tighten. You got to tighten them up. They're too many 40-second voicemails, my guy. You got it. I believe in you, Jim.
Hey, Smitty, do you think Mike White is going to be good enough to support two wide receivers in this new Jets offense? It's clear that Garrett Wilson is the number one there, but should we be picking up Elijah Moore, and do you think he has some value moving forward?
I do think Elijah Moore's got value. I'm not sure if you're ever going to start him or not. We'll have to see if he rebounds. I don't know that anybody's I think it's going to be Garrett Wilson probably, but I like both of them. I think they both can ball out. I think from time to time, I just don't know how consistent they'll be. But Mike White threw for 300 yards and 3 TDs. His last healthy start was 400 yards and 3 TDs. So I definitely feel like there's potential there for sure. Tony says, yeah, I don't know. There is zero causation of injury, which is per se random, related to the damn coaches. Okay, Tony. I appreciate you, Tony. I know, Tony, you're a lawyer. You like to argue off of only strictly evidence and not, guesswork or whatever. So I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I just disagree with you. Shanahan caused Trey Lance's injury. How many QB sneaks has Tom Brady run over his 23 seasons? Tony, I understand what you're saying. I get you. I understand you, and I appreciate your take. And I don't think you're necessarily wrong or right. But I do think that I think everybody can sit here and make assumptions about what is the cause for these overwhelming 49er injuries, but they're always injured. They're always injured, Tony. So all I've done is ask, what is the cause? Is it the scheme? Is it Shanahan? I think you've heard me say several times, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I do know that the Niners get injured more than any other team, specifically the running backs. So I don't know what else to tell you at this point other than I truly believe that I don't know why you're getting mad at me though, Tony. I'm out. Wish you the best. I don't know, Tony. Why are you leaving over this? Just because we disagree on something? I don't understand. Tony's like he's a baller here. He's a legend here. I don't know why he's so mad about the Shanahan thing. Sometimes people take a stance. Then when I don't agree with something, they get upset at me. It's like, that's my opinion, Tony. I keep saying over and over, I appreciate your stance. I don't think you're right or wrong, but I don't think you can say I'm wrong. I don't think you can say that I am wrong just because I don't have evidence as to what is the reason. I've made it very clear. I don't know if it's scheme or Shanahan. I know Shanahan's in charge of everything, and so I do blame Shanahan. I blame Shanahan for a lot. I blame Shanahan for all the missteps he's taken in the offseason after offseason. Every single misstep he's taken in relation to Jimmy G, protecting Trey Lance, deciding when to use Trey Lance, drawing out the Deebo Samuel contract situation, everything I blame on Shanahan. Shanahan is not a great head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator, a great scheme guy. But I just don't know what's the problem with me having a stance, Tony, that you disagree with. Like, Tony, I love you, pal. I don't know what's going on here. Hopefully Tony stays. I don't know what Tony's so mad at me for. Next question from Jim.
Hey, Smitty, can you talk about your thoughts on Lamar Jackson and if you think he can get his kind of fantasy value resurrected? I know he's kind of had some injuries this year with the running backs, and Bateman got hurt, so he doesn't really have any wide receivers. Are you worried at all about Lamar Jackson, or do you think he's still going to be okay the rest of the year?
Lamar Jackson, I feel like I have some worry and concern. And Tony, feel free to call. I'll call up, bro, if you want, and we can talk about this and get right. Because Tony, I don't like that you're upset at me. I love Tony. Tony's our boy. Like nobody say bad things about Tony in the chat. Tony's fine. Leave Tony alone. Tony, I'd love to call you if you're interested in chatting about it, and we'll dig into it in a civilized fashion. What was this question even at?
Smith, the running backs, and Bateman got hurt, so resurrected. And if you think he can get his... Hey, Smitty, can you talk about your thoughts on Lamar Jackson? And
Lamar Jackson. I really, 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 really have had concerns about Lamar from the start of the season. I said it a lot before draft day that I worry about up and down. He's vanished on people for 2 years in a row. So much so that he busted completely on anybody that owned him in 2020 because he was literally in the first 7-8 weeks was not even a top 12 quarterback. Like, he completely vanished. And if you remember, Justin Herbert, a lot of people that drafted Lamar Jackson had Justin Herbert as well. And every week I'd be asked, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, Smitty, should I bench Lamar and put in Herbert? And we're like, you can't bench your Lamar for Herbert. You can't. And then eventually it was like, yeah, put in Herbert. So I do worry about Lamar because he's had a history of going up and down. He's not the best passing quarterback in the NFL. He's an amazing running quarterback. He can be a good passing quarterback at times. But it depends on your options. I fully believe that unless you have a top 5 quarterback option, you can't consider benching Lamar Jackson. You just can't consider benching Lamar Jackson. It makes no sense whatsoever. So if anybody's like, should I start Deshaun Watson over Lamar? Should I start Geno Smith over Lamar? No. The answer is no. You've got to start your studs. And Lamar, technically speaking, is still a stud. Can he be inconsistent? Absolutely. Can he be disappointing? Absolutely. But you have to start your studs. Okay. Next question here.
In a full PPR, would you rather have A.J. Brown or Jalen Waddle rest of season?
A.J. Brown or Jalen Waddle? Jalen Waddle. A.J. Brown's a little too inconsistent, but A.J. Brown or Jalen Waddle is a top 6, top 7 wide receiver in most everyone's fantasy football scoring format. So I think Jalen Waddle is the answer here. I also feel like, I feel like he's been playing I think he has more upside than what he's been playing at right now. So I think I go Waddle. You could argue both, but I would say Waddle.
What's going on, Smitty? My tight ends at the beginning of the season, they were Waller and Ertz, but both of them got injured on IR. So the 3 tight ends I've been shuffling through is Everett, Moreau, and Jawan Johnson. I've been having Everett starting, but he's been dealing with injuries. So just going forward, who do you think will be more consistent, or do you think just shuffling through them would be the best idea week to week?
Moreau or Johnson or other. I'd probably say Moreau right now. I think Foster Moreau looked okay, but it's tough, bro. I'd have to know more options. Johnson's okay. Johnson's been scoring touchdowns. So I guess I'd rotate matchup. But if I had to pick one, I'd say Moreau. But I'd love to know who else is on waivers, who else you could potentially pick up and play. This one's from B-Men. Or this one's from Kevin.
Hey, Smitty. Javonte Williams, do you really think that he would have been good? The way that the Broncos season is shaking up right now? Broncos country, let's ride.
Do I think Javonte would have been good? I love this question. Listen to this, kind of... Kevin, I appreciate you. Don't get mad at me, Kevin. But listen, it's does Kevin think I was lying about Javonte, or that I really didn't believe in Javonte? How is this...
Hey, Smitty, Javonte Williams, do you really think that he would have been good?
He's kind of smiling. You can hear him smiling. Kevin's smiling. He's laughing at me, laughing a little bit. He's going, you don't really think he would have been good? Do you really think he would have been good? No, Kevin, I was just making it all up, just pumping out content, bro, for clickbait. Of course I thought Javonte was going to be good, and I think he would have been good. Look, Melvin Gordon's not even on the roster anymore. He was the biggest obstacle for Javonte Williams.
Hey, Smitty, Javonte Williams, do you really think that he would have been good? The way that the Broncos season
Of course
is
I do.
shaking up right now?
Of course I do, Kevin.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Broncos country, let's ride. I can't take. I feel like you guys got to change your whole. Like, Russell Wilson soured that. He ruined it. Now every time you say Broncos country, let's ride, everyone's gonna laugh. Everyone's gonna laugh. Russell Wilson ruined it. Russell Wilson ruined it. And you know, I love that. I love how Kevin laughed, kind of underhanded laughed at me. You don't really.
Hey, Smitty, Javonte Williams, do you really think that he would have been good? The way that the Broncos
Do I really think he would have been good? No, I was just making it all up, Kevin. B-man.
Thoughts on Christian Watson if Jordan Love is under center? Is he a receiver 3, receiver 2?
Receiver, not 2. We'll say receiver 3. Like, he's a great receiver 3 right now. Great receiver 3. Broncos country, let's ride. Someone's got to redo something. You can't use that anymore. Like, Russell Wilson, I'm reminded of Russell Wilson saying it now. Pain.
Hey, Smitty, I got Etienne. Should I drop Dylan and grab Hasty just in case Etienne gets injured later on or anything?
Did he say Dylan?
Hey, Smitty, I got Etienne. Should I drop Dylan and grab Hasty just in case Etienne?
No, I would rather have Dylan. Because Dylan's going to maybe be used more now going forward. He had a touchdown. He had 60-something yards, something like that. But do I think you should get Hasty? Absolutely. Cole.
Question for you. You might have to get the whiteboard out, but maybe not. I have Jonathan Taylor, CMC, Etienne, Foreman, and Rashad White. And I also have Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, and Mike Evans. I was thinking about trading CMC and Mike Evans for Jefferson because this injury is making me nervous, and 50-50 shares, and I might be able to pull off a Mike Evans and CMC trade, but I don't know if that's too much. But in case, my ATM would be my running back 2, Jonathan Taylor as my running back 1.
That's a lot to give. I mean, I know a lot of you don't like Mike Evans right now. I'm curious to know what the chat thinks about this one. Like, is JJ enough for some of you to give up Mike Evans and Christian McCaffrey? I'd love to know what the chat thinks of that. Because that is a lot to pay. That is a hefty price tag. That is an extreme amount. Because I think Mike Evans still has low-end wide receiver 1 value. It's tough to count on it. I understand that. But his team's pretty good. His team's pretty good. Get JJ. Too much. Get JJ. Dre says JJ. Space Ricky says JJ. There you have it. I don't know. For me, I don't know. I think that's really close. Let's listen to that one more time. Who was that? That was Cole?
Yeah, I have a question for you. Wait, maybe not. I have Jonathan Taylor, CMC, Etienne, Foreman, and Rashad White. And I also have Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, and Mike Evans. I was thinking about trading CMC and Mike Evans for Jefferson because this injury is making me nervous, and 50-50 shares, and I might be able to pull off a Mike Evans and CMC trade, but I don't know if that's too much. But in case, my ATM would be my running back 2, Jonathan Taylor as my running back 1.
I guess because you got Rashad White and you got players that could come in. I don't even think I need to marker board this. I'd probably say take it, but that was a hefty price tag, especially if Mike Evans bounces back. Like, I'm just saying that could backfire, but I understand why you're doing it.
I mean, my team is Joe Burrow, CMC,
yeah, we heard
Jonathan Taylor, Chase, Jamar Chase,
he's telling
AJ
us
Brown,
again.
Evans, Kittle, Etienne.
Yeah, we heard it the first
for
time.
2 people or 1 person I can trade to upscale my team. So I'm looking for big players.
Just repeated the same message over. Yeah, let me give you my team. In case you missed it, here's my team one more time. It's really good. It is really good. I guess you got the depth to do it, bro. You know, I guess you got the depth to do it. It's tough to like see you getting. Yeah, Jordan Mason. We're gonna have to look into getting Jordan Mason. Man, I'm really bummed about Tony getting so upset. Tony, I hope you're watching and you want me to call you because I'd love to dial you up, bro, and just have a good conversation. Nothing bad. Tony was like, Tony's a legend here. I don't know why Tony got mad at me over that topic. I don't know why. I felt like I pushed back a little bit on his perspective. And don't clown Tony in the chat. Tony, I like Tony a lot. He's a big part of this show. And I know sometimes families fight, you know, families bicker. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on here. Brothers arguing or something. And Tony will be right back here the next day. But I just don't know, like, be honest, did I come across like bad? I think I was just defending my stance, but you know, I'm in the middle of my spiel, and he says, Smitty, you're simply wrong. I felt like I had a right to like snap back a little of the way that I did it, but I don't think I was rude, was I? We love Tony. Don't say anything negative about Tony in here. I love Tony. Tony's an amazing individual. I just don't know why he's so mad at me. It might be a Niner fan, maybe. I don't know. I mean, sometimes people take it real offensively when it's their team you're talking about. I don't know. I would love Tony. I would love to be able to call Tony. Tony, where are you? Tony, we need you here. Unbelievable. I feel like I'm fighting with family right now. Kenwar, my boy. Hey, Smitty, what are we doing with Pierce? Sorry, I missed your previous content if you already talked about it. Look, we're worried about Pierce. We'll probably put him on the bench until further notice, unless you don't have like a much superior option. You know what I'm saying? But he's a concern. We're concerned like crazy over this man. Yeah, so it depends on your option, but we're definitely worried about him, bro. Tony, we love you, bud. See, Kilpatrick says we love you, Tony. I appreciate it. Kilpatrick's my dude. Smitty, check your DMs on IG. Okay, thank you. I'll get to that right now, rock out. And why would you make that man grab his ball and go home, JK? Says Lunchbox. You talking about who? Tony, I'm going to send him a message. I don't know why he's mad at me. I'm going to send him a message right now. Let's see here. There, I sent him a message. I'd love to call him right now. Lunchbox, appreciate your super chat. Okay, I think we're all caught up on those. Let's open up the phone lines.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, dial in if you got dilemmas, whatnot. I'm here for you. Bros, I'm praying JT flops. No, we don't want JT to flop, Kylo. We want JT to explode. I'm sorry if that offends you or ruins your playoff hopes or whatever, but JT's going to have 110 yards rushing and a touchdown tonight. Know that. Maybe, let's see here, Saturday or Monday night. I don't get why you're so hung up. Jesse, because I like people, bro. I'm a people person. You're describing something. Let's see here. All right, hit me with the phone call. Hit me with a question. Let's roll. Phone lines are open. Smitty, appreciating loyalty is legit, says Lunchbox. We need Najee and Muth to flop. No, we don't. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Smitty, it's TR.
What's up? What can I do for you?
I traded Samaje Perine for Paris Campbell. How do you think I did in that trade?
Perine for Campbell?
Yep.
I mean, it's okay.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm not, jumping for joy for you.
And then in another trade, I traded Justin Herbert and Tony Pollard for Delvin Cook. I have Deshaun Watson and Justin Fields, who probably is done for the year as my quarterbacks. How do you think I did in that trade?
Justin Herbert, say it again?
Justin Herbert and Tony Pollard for Delvin Cook. My team's 10-3. 9-3, going to go to the playoffs, so I was just getting Cook for the playoffs.
Yeah, Justin Herbert, Tony Pollard. And then who's your quarterback? You said Burrow?
No, Deshaun Watson. And Fields, but Fields is probably done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you rolling the dice with Deshaun and going Cook. I mean, Cook's big enough name that, it's kind of an exciting, risky move to make, but there's enough upside there for sure. I mean, he's been notoriously good or bad in the fantasy playoffs, so he could single-handedly win you a championship game if he goes out there and has 200 yards, total yards, and a touchdown, or have 102 scores or whatever. I don't mind it at all. That's not a bad move. I just think Pollard. It comes down to Pollard. If Pollard is leaned upon the way that we would lean upon him, Pollard could be better than Cook.
Right.
So you're running a little bit of a risk that if Dallas decides, and they fed Zeke a lot last week. My only worry about Zeke and Pollard is the divide. Not that Pollard's not able to beat him out or whatnot, but the fact that we don't know what the divide's going to be, and the fact that it was a very horrible divide last week, and it was Pollard got all the bad carries, Zeke got all the good carries, and that concerns me enough to say that this is a decent move to make. Do you have any Pollard shares anywhere else so you can enjoy Pollard exploding if he does, or are you going to just be sitting there licking your wounds?
I'm a big listener of the show, and I have Pollard in all my other leagues.
Then
That's part of the reason I was willing to move too. So I'm enjoying Pollard where I still got him. And I also picked up, it's a 10-man league where I traded for Cook. So I picked up Madison off waivers just to protect that investment. So I got the Vikings backfield at least. We just got to, they get a little more efficient on the ground.
Yeah.
So thanks, Smitty.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you too. See you. Bye.
Next caller, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, this is Owen.
What's up, Owen?
I have a trade question for you.
Yep.
So my playoffs start week 14, since I'm one of the bottom teams in the league. I have Olave on a bye.
Okay.
And my wide receivers are D-Hop, Debo. Yes, my playoffs are on a bye.
Okay. So what's the question?
We start week 14.
Your mouth breathing in the background. I'm removing you from the call. This guy calls in, mouth breathing. I hear myself in the background going, hello?
Sorry about that. I had the stream up.
No, that wasn't. I don't think that was you. Oh, was that you? Did I just hang up on the wrong guy? Was I talking to you or no? Or you knew?
I've been on the Zoom calls before.
No. You were just speaking, right? Or did I just add you? I think.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. What's the question?
So, I have a trade offer for Olave and Debo for Jalen Waddle.
So you're giving away Debo and Olave for Waddle.
Yeah, and I forget what else he said. Let me go look.
I don't know. That's a lot to give up, man. I really like Olave and a lot. I know he's going to be, like you said, bye week and all, but Debo, what are we thinking here, crew? We good with Olave and Debo, or are we good with Waddle, given his situation, which he mapped out, and I'll be completely honest, I didn't hear what you said. You're giving me a little too much backstory. I got a little ADD, bro. I do. I had ADD before they ever categorized it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I conquered that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I beat ADD. I beat it, bro. I smashed it. But every once in a while, it trickles back in, and it's like, I don't even know what you said. So tell me your backstory very quickly in one sentence. Not too long.
Week 14 is the first week of my playoffs. I have to win that game or my season's over.
Yeah, that makes sense then. Okay. I'm glad I re-asked you. Still though, it's like you got Debo though, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I love Debo's situation right now, and he got hurt again. You know, he got hurt again. It's like, but I mean, that's interesting, man. Waddle. I just think you're probably, some people are saying, can you get like Tyreek Hill? Can you give Olave and Debo and go get like a bigger name wide receiver? Can you go get an Adams, a JJ, a Tyreek Hill rather than settle for Waddle? Because it almost feels like, I agree with what the chat's kind of saying. Almost feels like Waddle's like a little tiny bump from either of these guys, and you're giving up two of them. You know, I love Olave. Must win. Debo's in there for you though. You know? It's not like you have nobody. It's not like Olave's.
My receivers would be that week would be Debo and B-Hop.
Yeah, but your receivers don't. Your receivers don't increase because you make this trade. You still have one receiver coming back to you in Waddle. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people are saying get Jalen. Some people are saying way too much. Let's see here. Smitty.
I'm looking at this guy's roster. There's not a lot.
Warren, get Jalen. Debo is a dog. Says that's coming from Niner fans. When people say Debo's a dog, like, you know, like, come on, bro, you're talking. You the same. I see the same phrase said about Juwan Jennings, who's a non-existent player. Like, he caught a touchdown last week. People are like, Jennings is a dog. Of course Debo's a dog, but he's, you know, he's inconsistent and a concern and an injury risk right now. So I don't know. I think Waddle's the better player in the deal. Someone's saying, can you get anything else? What can you add in?
Can I read this guy? Like, what I would throw in?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Like, he's got Patterson. He's got a Christian Kirk. He's the St. Brown owner. But I don't know if that's going from Waddle to St. Brown, or would you rather have Waddle? I feel like probably Waddle. He doesn't have anything else, really, that he would offer up. He's got Andrews, but he's pretty high on Andrews.
Yeah.
So he's probably not. He's not giving away Andrews. So.
People are. I'm still trying to get a feel for the chat. Chat's all over the place. Waddle for sure. Waddle. Who's this other guy's drop? Waddle. Way too much. Jennings is a cuff. Caller is solving his problems, says Daddy Dennis. I know I'm a little bit distant. I'm sorry. I'm watching this countdown game. I've got 100,000 things going on. Can you do 3 for 2? I don't know what to say on this trade, to be honest with you. This is the first time I've been stumped and speechless for a little while. I guess I take Waddle in your scenario. Get Waddle.
Get Waddle?
Yeah. It's risky, bro. It's high risk, high reward. You know, when you play with high risk, high reward type of thing, you know, you always run that risk of regretting it, but you are getting the best player in the deal. Whenever you get the best player in the deal, it's hard to argue that you're losing the trade if you have enough depth to kind of survive. But just know that, like, if Waddle gets hurt or something, you don't have near the situation on your hands that you would if, like, Debo got hurt. You still have Olave. Or if Olave got hurt, you still have Debo. So it's obviously much safer but I do feel like Waddle's the best player in the deal. I'd say Waddle.
Yeah.
Plus, that's what your gut's saying, bro. That's what your gut's saying. Your gut's screaming
it. Also, to me, is like if Waddle goes off in week 14, and like if I would have done the trade, now my season's over because I didn't trade for Waddle, and Debo goes for 7. Like I'm gonna be like, well, that sucks because now my season's over.
Yeah, do Waddle.
So that's where I'm at. It's like
trust your gut. Your gut's screaming Waddle, bro. Your gut's screaming Waddle. You're practically screaming at me, Waddle, Smitty, Waddle. Do it. Don't listen to anybody else, bro.
Yeah.
Your gut's screaming it. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Got it. Thank you.
Later. I know when to let go of pushing something. When somebody's continuously pushing back on it, they really want it. What other players is a caller? I don't know. We had to move on. I couldn't even pay attention. I have an extreme amount of ADD right now that came soaring back since when I was a little kid. I can't concentrate on anything right now. Now I got the game going. Pittsburgh Steelers have the football. Najee's looking good. Najee's looking trim, I might add. He looks pretty trim. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to? Hello?
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 Hey, Smitty, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I called the other day asking about the tight end issue I was having because of Goddard going down.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I got a trade offer offered to me, and I was going to run it by you.
Okay, hit me with it.
So he wants to trade Etienne, and he's going to give me Etienne and Hawkinson, but he wants Kenneth Walker and Dallas Goedert.
Etienne and Hawkinson. I want Walker. The Walker side. Like, what would be the tight end on the Walker side? Who would you be starting?
That would be me, and I have Logan Thomas.
I mean,
I have Logan Thomas, and then I have Dallas Goedert in the IR.
Yeah, I guess only because we're a little bit worried about I'm not ultra worried about Etienne's foot in this situation, but I'm enough worried about it to where I would rather have Walker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody says where they can buy this T-shirt. You just got to go to my merch store. Let me drop that merch link for you, broski. That way you can go copy some fantasy football, the Fantasy Football Show merch. Here we go. We got Breeze's Pieces shirts. We've got the whole works. I'll pin that for you. You want to get a shirt? There you go. Dropped. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So you're saying just stick with Walker and Thomas and my tight end position?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying stick with Thomas. I'm just saying I'd start solving my problems other ways. I'm not getting rid of Walker.
All right.
But, I mean, it's close enough. Trust your gut. But, I mean, could Etienne be better than Walker? I guess. But, yeah, I don't think that's moving the needle for me, bro. You're dangling a Hawkinson carrot in front of me, and it's not making me run. I'm not jumping for joy here. I like Hawkinson, but...
Well, he has Hawkinson and Njoku, so he is offering either or.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
The only thing is, Etienne has a playoff schedule that you would want to exploit, but you just don't know if he's healthy or what's going on there.
If your gut is telling you to do it, then I'm indifferent enough that I'm not gonna. I wouldn't take a lap button or anything. I just think that Walker's a little more secure right now. But I would say, like, you know, can you hit me with some tight end options on the waiver wire? Can you tell me, does anybody have, like, does this guy have any other opportunity to trade you a tight end, or is he just going to be like, no, if you're not giving me Walker, I'm just not going to trade with you because I'm going to be a baby about it, and he's not going to trade you at all. Like, that could be the case. But is there any other, who are the waiver wire tight ends available?
It would be Cade Otton, John Smith, and Austin Hooper. So it's a very deep lead.
Yeah. You weren't paying attention at tight end for a while, or you had someone get hurt or something. You're just kind of...
Well, I mean, I had Goddard, and then I picked up Dalton Schultz. I traded Dalton Schultz away for
when Goddard got
I
healthy.
traded Dalton
Okay.
Schultz away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Then you're fine. You were
and
doing.
then
I'm
Goddard
sorry.
got
You were doing the right thing. I forgot about Goddard. My bad.
yeah.
You were paying attention, you little rascal. You were.
I traded Dalton Schultz for T. Higgins.
Okay.
So-
Hey, man, you were doing good things then. You couldn't have known. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that
Yeah,
about
you
your
just-
tight. I shouldn't have said that about your tight end evaluation process. You had Goddard on lock. He was a top 3 option. You were doing your thing. That was my fault. That was the ADD.
Yeah, damn,
that was the ADD kicking in again. I completely forgot about Goddard. Well, bro, I don't know what else to tell you, but what are your playoff hopes looking like? Pickett scrambling. Tony Pickett scrambling. Or Tony. I said Tony. I meant Ron. Tony's still on my mind. I'm still upset about Tony being mad at me. Ron, look at Pickett. Pickens is developing. Did this guy hang up? He didn't even say bye. Maybe he said bye and I didn't even hear him. I'm not paying much attention to anybody calling, am I? I'm a really rude host right now. One more caller and then I'm going to jump. Because I think it's time to watch this game. My concentration is at an all-time low. I think Tony threw me off. Game is on. Peace out. Thank you, Wood. Appreciate you. 212 of you still in the building. Please hit the thumb up button on your way out the door. I'm just going to close the phone line now. I appreciate everybody dropping a voicemail. Let me see if I have any more super chats voicemails left. This one's from Michael. Michael.
Hey, Smitty, do you see Patrick Mahomes finishing out the regular season, or do you think the last week or so they're going to sit him?
We're way too early for that, and I think you're. Oh, rock out.
You gotta get yourself a Mike White. He will get you so right. It feels so good, right? Mike White. You know it's Mike White.
Oh, I think I'm gonna make that Miss Smitty's ringtone. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
What's up, Smitty?
What's up? Who's this?
Calling from Hawaii. I got a 8-man league, PPR. Pretty stacked team, but I don't have any room for roster spots for bench players. I got Dameon Pierce, Olave, and Marquise Brown. I'm close to dropping Dameon Pierce or Marquise Brown for Rachaad White. I'm not sure which one would have better upside for the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, I hate that you got to drop one of those guys though. You can't trade it away. There's no trades. You said.
They're pretty stiff on trading. The guys who are stacked, they're pretty much keeping their team for playoffs. I could have probably got Dameon Pierce off of my team 2 weeks ago, but nobody's gonna want him, and I'm not sure if somebody's gonna even pick him up off waivers. If I do drop him, but on waivers is David Montgomery.
You got
Rachaad White.
Yeah, this is one of those things where your league is so rich on the waiver wire that that's not as bad as it sounds. Dropping Hollywood Brown sounds like a huge mistake to most people, but you have Montgomery on waivers, and I guess I'd rather have Hollywood Brown over Pierce right now, but that could change, man. I'm a little hesitant to tell you to drop him. I understand you need to get Mike White. I'd rather have Mike White than Pierce. I'd rather have Mike White than Hollywood. So you do need to make this move. No problem, Ruben. You do need to make this move, but I don't know which one to drop. Chat, which one are you dropping for Mike White? I'm sorry, not Mike White. Rachaad White, right?
Yeah.
Rachaad White. I keep saying Mike White. Mike White's on my mind. Which one are you dropping for Rachaad White, chat? Hollywood or Pierce? Who are we dropping? Mike White over Goff this week? Probably. Someone said drop Pierce. Someone said drop Pierce. Man, that sucks. It's just a shame that we're at that point where Pierce is getting dropped. I would never have. No one would have guessed that 4 weeks ago. We would have been like, "You out of your mind, bizarro world." Can you imagine if we went to what's his name's room, Roy's room?
Yeah.
Hey,
At one point, I had Walker and Pierce, and I was trying to pair Walker up for some bigger names, and everybody wanted Pierce over Walker.
Psst, Roy.
But
Roy, you're gonna drop
at the time.
You're gonna drop Damian Pierce, Roy. Psst, you're gonna drop him at the beginning of November or December.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I guess drop Pierce, bro.
Drop Pierce for the thing is in my flex spot. I bought Jonathan Taylor on the low. I traded him. The guy was desperate for receivers. I was able to give him Metcalf for Taylor when he was hurt.
Yeah,
But Taylor's got a week 14 bye.
Yeah.
And that's the spot I'm trying to fill.
Well, Hollywood's got a bye, but I would say like keep an eye on Pierce, bro. Just keep one eyeball on him, bro. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Later.
Bye.
Just keep one of them eyeballs on him, bro. At all times. Did I play Michael's voicemail?
Hey, Smitty, do you see Patrick Mahomes finishing out the regular season?
Oh yeah. We don't know the answer to that, bro. We have no clue. And where's what's his name? Guilty. Can you call up real quick and can we hash this out? I know you left me a few voicemails. Let me see if I could have Guilty call. Let me see if I can get Guilty to call. Because his voicemails were just a little long. And I feel bad I didn't help him. So I want to make sure Guilty is able to get help here. Call in. Let's see if Guilty's going to call in real quick. Let's see here. Come on, we going to get some JT action or what? Is this going to be like a Thursday night game or what are we looking at here? Throw it to JT. That was a horrible throw. Interception. Horrible throw, Matt Ryan. That was not being careful with the football whatsoever. That was the worst throw I've seen all year long. You better not revert back to this Matt Ryan. That was an awful throw. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. God, that was an awful throw. He was sitting right there. Did the ball hit the ground? I don't think so. All right, we're waiting for Guilty real quick, and then we're going to bounce out of here. Let me see if I got any more super chats hanging out. That was a good catch. That was a good interception, by the way. Whoa, a little flip. Little flipperoo. So Matt Ryan is the GOAT now for that interception. That was actually a really good pick, though. But that was just, he was standing right there. I don't know why he threw that ball. And we don't want this game to get out of hand. Let's hopefully the Steelers get stopped. They get another field goal. Then you got the Colts trying to run the ball. And you got Saturday saying, pound the rock. Pound the rock. Give it to JT. Let JT run 7 straight times. I don't think Guilty's calling. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Live Monday through Friday. You forgot about my IG DM. I did not rock out. We jammed to that one already. What are you talking about? You want to hear it again?
You gotta get yourself a Mike White. He will get you so right. It feels so good, right? Mike White. You know it's Mike White.
It gets you so right. Mike White will get you so right. I played that already, Rockout. You must have stepped out to leak the lizard, bro. We hit that one already. This is the second time we played that. Needed 3 points. Appreciate you, Kyle. Appreciate you all. I'm out of here. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I feel bad I didn't help Guilty. It was like four messages. I'm going to have Guilty tighten up his message leaving game. And have him leave us a little bit less backstory and more to the point stuff, just so we can get, because Guilty's awesome. We just need Guilty to tighten it up. So Guilty, I'll get with you in the DMs, bro, and get you to drop some smoother, tighter voicemails. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you. I'm trying to hurt JT. I'm not trying to hurt JT. I just want him to run the football. I just want the Colts to have a shot in this game so that the run game does not get game scripted out. I know JT's matchup proof. They can throw the ball to him, but we need him to run the football. Live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll do waiver wire tonight. Maybe this is Guilty calling. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who is this?
This is Guilty. What's going on?
Guilty, what's up? Just in time. Let me hit back to the show. Look, I hope you didn't take offense to what I said or if you even heard it, but I was trying to play some of yours.
No, I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, they were a little long again, bro. So I was saying, man, call in. Call it. You know, too much backstory. We need like 10, 15 second questions, really, because when there's four of them and they're 59 seconds, my views go down, bro. So I have to move on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, hit me real quickly. No backstory. What is the main question you got?
So, do you think I should move Chase and Pierce for, I don't know, like a legitimate RB? Because, like I said, I'm number one in my league, so, like, I'm fine. I don't have to make a move, but, like, I'm trying to, like, secure myself for the playoffs, like, indefinitely.
I mean, I think most people here are gonna treat Pierce like a total throw-in at this point. So, for sure, I would move these two for one RB, but what RB are you thinking? Like Walker, an Etienne?
Yeah, you think that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think Chase is like Kenneth Walker? I can't talk. I'm all nervous. Excuse me. Kenneth Walker for Chase straight up? Like you would do that?
Yeah, I would. I love Jamar Chase, but you don't really know exactly what you're getting. You know, you don't know what's in store for him. He could come out and be 90% going forward. He could be 80% going forward. We don't really know. So I would definitely take Kenneth Walker. I'd draft Kenneth Walker like in the top 6 overall. See, look, Matt Ryan interception, no harm, no foul. They're back on the field. JT season's back underway. Walker, other RBs that come to mind. Let me pull up my rankings at thefantasyfootballshow.com and give you a list of the RBs that I'm thinking of. So, I mean, I don't know.
Because I have Najee, I have Chubb, I have Najee, I got Rachaad White.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that Perrine, or however you say his name, I hope he keeps playing, like with Mixon's injury. Just concussion.
Yeah, Mixon's going to maybe be out this week. He's trending, and they said trending in the right direction of playing this week. So I wouldn't start counting your eggs before they hatch, bro. I don't think P. Ryan's going to be helping you out for a long period of time at all, even this week. So, like Henry, would you trade this package for Henry? Yes. Would you trade this package for Barkley? Yes. Would you trade this package for Eckler? Yes. You've got Nick Chubb already. Jacobs, potentially. I a lot of people in here would say yes. JT, depending on...
man. I just gave him away, too. He has 54.
Yeah, I know. And I did answer that, and I said that I hate to tell you, but that trade's not going to look good at the end of the day, even long term. But you couldn't have, it was more close of it was a closer call walking into week 12. It just, the distance got separated, you know, like that's the way it is. 1 week happens and everyone's going to have hindsight 2020 and go, oh, I wouldn't have done that trade. That was an off. Like, look, not everybody was sure what Jacobs was going to do moving forward. And like you said, he was injured. So don't beat yourself up over it, but like I wouldn't start thinking that it's going to look great for you later. Like it's probably not gonna, but you can still recover from it. AJ Brown's still a baller, sure. So don't get too crazy about it. But yeah, JT, JT, maybe you look, depending on this game, you could maybe acquire JT. Even Christian McCaffrey would be tempting if you need an RB to go toward that direction with the Jamar Chase trade. But I definitely worry about Christian McCaffrey. But at the same time, there's worry about Jamar Chase. You know, if I was trading JJ, I wouldn't trade JJ for CMC. But when you're talking about a risky player in Chase, you need an RB. Sometimes you got to go down a risky avenue, down a risky alley.
Okay.
You know.
Do you think I'm okay at RB with Chubb and Rashad White and Najee?
Who are your wide receivers?
To like solidify.
Who are your wide receivers?
I have Tariq, Godwin, Chase, AJ Brown are my main guys, and then I have like Paris Campbell on the bench. I got
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: if you get rid of Chase, bro, then you're weaker at wide receiver. Like, I kind of like the idea of rolling with Rashad White right now. You know,
yeah, for sure.
And then it's like you take away your wide receiver room to improve your running back room, then you put another hole in the boat. You know, just in a different spot. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Roll with what you got. Hope Jamar Chase comes back on fire. And let's go.
I got Kadarius Toney on my IR, and I got Jamison Williams there too. So I'm hoping he pops. Jamison Williams.
No, he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna. Bro, they don't even know. They're saying it would be really, really tough, tall order for him to hit the field this week. He's not fully ready. Like in the final couple weeks, could he show us a flash of what's to come? Sure. But I don't think I'd expect anything. Like you're rolling Jamison Williams out there like in the final 2 weeks. That's risky.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be counting on Odell or Jamison Williams or. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying that the odds are very much against him being unleashed at, and looking amazing on a consistent level because he'll barely be in time. We're walking into week 13, right? Week 13.
Yeah.
And so he's not ready this week. They said he won't be out there this week. It'd be a really tall order for him to be out. That means next week's very questionable. And then that means that week 15, 16, 17 are your only shots at him. And then we can do bank on him. I wouldn't bank on him. We'll see. Let's have a conversation. If he goes nuts in one of these games, we'll have a conversation about, okay, you can start him the next week. But I highly doubt we'll get to that point. I think he hung up. All right. Well, hey, Guilty. I appreciate you, Guilty. I appreciate everybody. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you all tomorrow or probably tonight for some kind of waiver wire show. I'll see you all tonight or tomorrow, both, and live whenever news breaks, 7 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday, and I'm live Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight Eastern. We got one more super chat that just rolled in. Super chat here from, who is this? Bums dropping a $5 hauler. Bums says, my QBs are Carr and Fields. Should I trade Diggs for Godwin and Mahomes? Woo! The reason I'm hesitating, because Godwin and Mahomes is a lot. That's a lot to get. That's a really good value for Diggs. But what if Fields isn't shut down? But I think you got to kind of assume he will be. But that's a lot, bro. That's a lot to get. Godwin's a good player, a good wide receiver to get back, and then have Mahomes, a consistent Mahomes in your lineup. But, yeah, probably take that. Does anybody in the chat disagree? I mean, I love Diggs. We're drafting Diggs ahead of Mahomes, but it really does come down to roster construction. And it also comes down to, and that's different. Roster construction is different than draft day. So you can say till you're blue in the face, I'd take Diggs over Mahomes. Mahomes is a third rounder, Smitty, blah, blah, blah. But like Godwin and Mahomes, you're filling that wide receiver spot pretty nicely. Appreciate your super chat. Live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Here are all my channels. Make sure you're subscribed to the Dynasty channel, youtube.com/thedynasty. youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. It's also on the bottom of the homepage of my YouTube main channel. So go to my YouTube channel on your mobile device, the main homepage of it. Scroll to the bottom. There's the Dynasty channel right there. Don't forget to get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com for your year-round bold predictions, trade advice. all that stuff, trade calculator. I'll see you all on the flip side. Thank you.